The 2025 Indianapolis Colts were on pace to be one of the greatest teams in recent franchise history. By week 10, they were sitting at 8-2, leading the AFC South and boasting the #1 offense in the NFL. They were the first team in NFL history to score on their first 10 possessions of a season and not have to punt the ball. But what followed was an historic disaster. The Colts didn't just stumble, they became the first team in NFL history to finish with a losing record after starting 8-2. Today, we're looking at a 7-week freefall that saw an MVP frontrunner and a career-best QB performance vanish into an 8-9 finish. For the first 10 weeks, Jonathan Taylor was the best player in football, period. He hit the Week 11 bye, leading the NFL in rushing with 1,139 yards and 17 total touchdowns. The peak was Week 10 in Berlin against the Falcons. Taylor put up a franchise record 286 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns, including a career-long 83-yard score. He was the runaway MVP favorite, pacing with legendary seasons from Shaun Alexander and LaDainian Tomlinson. But as the passing game crumbled, defenses zeroed in. After averaging 6.4 yards per carry in wins, he plummeted to just 3.4 yards per carry during the losing streak. The catalyst for the early success was Daniel Jones. He was named the starter over Anthony Richardson before Week 1. Jones played the most efficient football of his career under Shane Steichen. He finished with 3,101 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, and a 100.2 passer rating. But the wheels fell off due to injury. Jones began playing through a fractured fibula in late November. His mobility, which was a key part of the offense, vanished. Despite the injury, he stayed on the field until Week 14 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, when he suffered a season-ending torn Achilles. The Colts didn't win another game for the rest of the year. Amidst the team's collapse, rookie tight end Tyler Warren was the only one whose production didn't crater. Warren finished as the tight end 7 in fantasy, seeing a massive 111 targets. He became the primary safety valve for hobbled Daniel Jones, unretired Philip Rivers, and later Riley Leonard, proven to be game script proof even as the losses piled up. When Tyler Warren was drafted, everybody thought this was a bust. The Colts did the wrong thing drafting Tyler Warren. This was the worst possible landing spot for Tyler Warren based on this offense. He quickly proved that wrong. The post-bye stretch was a nightmare. The Colts lost 7 straight games to finish 8-9. While Daniel Jones' injury was the main factor, the depth behind him was non-existent. The Colts only had Riley Leonard and Anthony Richardson on the roster, and with Richardson on IR, they had to rely on 44-year-old Philip Rivers to come out of retirement, but he couldn't stop the bleeding. Philip played well, but the Colts just couldn't get the job done. They were officially eliminated from the playoffs before even kicking off in Week 17. 7 of their 9 losses were by 1 score, but the inability to finish games turned a potential Super Bowl run into a draft lottery finish. Sadly, they don't even own their 2026 first-round draft pick because of a trade that sent their 2026 and 2027 first-round picks, along with wide receiver Adonai Mitchell, to the Jets for all-pro corner Sauce Gardner. The 2025 Colts will be remembered as a warning. They proved that an elite offense and an MVP caliber running back aren't enough if you can't protect your quarterback's health. They went from the best start in 15 years to an historic collapse that will haunt the franchise for years. The questions for 2026 are simple. What are the Colts going to do at quarterback? Will they sign Daniel Jones to a long-term contract assuming that he will come back healthy? They will need elevated play from the quarterback position, and Jones fit that bill in 2025. Is Riley Leonard ready to step up after starting just 1 game at the end of the season if Daniel Jones doesn't get signed or is not ready to play? Chris Ballard needs to figure out what to do early in the draft. Without first-round picks in 2026 and 2027, the scout team will have to be perfect in the early rounds to recover from the missing picks being tied up in the Sauce Gardner trade. Then the defensive pressure needs to be better. Ballard has been criticized for ages because he cannot draft an edge rusher. Linebackers, he's golden. He's proven that. Edge rushers have been drafted every year, and they cannot get consistent pressure on opposing offenses to make a huge impact. The Colts must start strong and finish stronger in 2026. 2025 showed their fans what the team could be, but that simply fell apart once injuries started hitting the team. They became predictable, and teams figured out how to stop the Colts offense, which is to stop Jonathan Taylor. Steichen should be coaching for his job. Draw up something new. Draw up something exciting. Make this team consistent throughout 2026. What do you think the Colts should do in 2026? Let us know in the comments.